but they're saying, you have to check off all these equity boxes on your script, on your, while you're trying to kind of come up with creative concepts. It would just be great to see those doors open so that you're not addressing a writer, you're just putting out the mission to lots of diverse spaces so that there are people of all nationalities, all walks of life that have a shot at fitting the character that fits the story.
Right.
And we don't wind up in these marketing bubbles where we're like, well, we're going to make, the next Marvel thing. We're going to take, whatever this traditional thing is, but we need to change it to fit all of these point markers. And then,
And they're failing. They're failing exponentially.
Yeah.
People are not liking, you don't fix what, as they say, that another terminology, don't fix what ain't broke. It's the diversity and inclusion part too, like there's all these factors that are happening now in the film industry that, you have to have a certain amount of types of people, cultural people, religions and different genre and different races and religions and all kinds of things happening that has changed dramatically in the film industry. And there needs to be a balance too.
I think my hope for that in the long run, and this stirs up conversations and debates. I hope more and more that starts to push more toward looking for creative original content from people of diverse backgrounds, different cultures, different religions, but when you get those people writing their stories, the diversity comes built in. What I think what bothers me is when the suit at the top of the mandates, who isn't the creative, they're maybe just the money guy or the marketing person, but they're saying, you have to check off all these equity boxes on your script, on your, while you're trying to kind of come up with creative concepts. It would just be great to see those doors open so that you're not addressing a writer, you're just putting out the mission to lots of diverse spaces so that there are people of all nationalities, all walks of life that have a shot at fitting the character that fits the story.
Right.
And we don't wind up in these marketing bubbles where we're like, well, we're going to make, the next Marvel thing. We're going to take, whatever this traditional thing is, but we need to change it to fit all of these point markers. And then,
and they're failing. They're failing exponentially.
Yeah.
People are not liking, you don't fix what, as they say, that another terminology, don't fix what ain't broke. How many years Marvel and DC have been around, can't just go in and completely change over everything that they have accomplished.
Right.
No, you just can't. You can make new things. There always should be a balance. Everything is a balance,
And I think if it's
create a balance, right?
Yeah, and I think if it's organic, it's one thing, and in the sense of, like marketing trends and market trends, if you just start drawing in more stories from different communities, they're Asian or they're African American or whatever they are, then naturally and organically you're going to cast maybe more people in those categories and less. I think when it becomes a politicized kind of push to squeeze out, and anyone, whether it's Caucasian or Asian or Black, you start squeezing people out of a political kind of thing. That's that's actually
danger,
repressing and squeezing the creative purpose of a particular piece.
It's there. I think everybody needs an equal chance. I think everybody is one. That's in my eyes anyhow, but we need to start, sort of bringing that into the film world, that everybody's one, and, man, woman, whatever race or religion or culture you are, we're all one. We're all human beings, so everybody's got talent. And I met talent all over the world. I mean, I work globally. I've met amazing talent in India and in Africa and, in UK and Greece and all over the place, so it really isn't about culture. It's about quality talent, period.
Yeah.
That's simple,
And the quality of a variety of experiences. I mean, I know when I write, there is I write from, as many writers do, you write from experience or from what your imagination has drawn from your experience.
Right.
And, I write about the characters that I've crossed paths with, so of all nationalities, all beliefs. I try and put myself in their shoes, and I write stories about characters who are straight or gay or black or white or Muslim, or, and as I've engaged with people, and those are in many cases, those are people I love and people I have embraced as friends. And
Yeah.
I really want to, that's how I want to write those stories. But it really is challenging when you come into a segment now of the industry where before you put pen to paper, you're told you're not allowed to put any, let's say, anyone indigenous, because we don't want to stir up that debate. You're not allowed to put anyone Asian because we don't want to do this or that. Whatever it is, as soon as you've been told, because of politics, that you have to kind of adapt things that aren't organic to your experience, it's just meeting a mandate. It affects the quality of stories.
It's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I just saw on TV the other day, there's the first indigenous woman to go up in space. I thought that was awesome. Like, everybody deserves a chance.
Yeah.
Period. And we need to write those rules. And I present this to everybody, whoever comes to me. I don't care who it is. There needs to be proper mandates, I think, in place to say, okay, we need to be diverse in everything that we choose. And not, say you must do this, you must do that, you must put this, you must put that. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Well, and I guess it's one thing to be like open to trends. That's smart business and smart marketing. And but if you got a good, you don't want to close the door to good material just because it doesn't meet a particular mandated trend. As soon as it becomes a mandated trend, then you're cutting off options for great stories that you might not have even assumed that you'll be getting. But when you get one, why throw it out when it's good?
Well, I mean, there's a point. There's a friend of mine that I've worked with over the years, and he has this sort of, he calls it secret sauce. I hate that term. but this, everybody's using it lately for some apparent reason. But there's a point where there's, you place certain people in positions in the storyline that could up the volume of your viewership, which makes sense. And he makes perfect sense. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, you eliminate completely, let's say, a Caucasian person.
Right.
Because that there could be amazing actors that would be perfect for that role. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. It's you want to serve the story. I think that's, and serving politics gets things a bit messy.
It doesn't make sense. And I think we just all need to be one. We all live in this world together. We're all, human beings with hearts and minds and souls, and just, present it that way when we come
I think
to a theatrical space, right?
Yeah, well, we were talking before about how when things get into political silos like this, and there winds up being a kind of group think or group mandate around this is what we're going to push for, and that becomes an industry thing. It's not a creative artist thing. I think what you wind up with is a cartoonishness about the issue that actually perpetuates the very problem they're trying to prevent.
And it's also a lot of people are losing jobs because of it, because they're not fitting in that specific, hole. We just all need to come together and collaborate together. And that's where, what I do. I mean, I bring people together collaboratively, and I'll take producers here and directors there and line producers here, and we come together, all of us, and say, hey, let's all make money together. You've got this, you've got this, you've got this. Okay, let's get it done. Instead of, you live in this little box. It's like, I have my line producer, I have my producer and director and this and that and that. And then I'm going to try and make that film and get that investor.
Yeah.
Well, if that's not working for you anymore. So guess what? It's time to collaborate. It's time to come together and bring people together and get the job done.
Yeah.